Good morning, everybody. So this morning I opened up Facebook first thing and I saw the cutest thing. This morning I saw a neighbor talking to her cat. It was obvious that she thought her cat understood her. I came to my house and I told my dog. We laughed a lot. That's the way me and James talked this morning. He was in the kitchen saying something and I said, What? What? He said, oh, I was just talking to the cat. We get so tickled at each other. But anyway, you know what I've been doing. I got high hopes today that I am going to make some food. I'm going to try to make that white bean soup. I haven't had it for a while with Italian sausage, and I've already got the ingredients, and it don't take long. I need some spinach. I got to go get some spinach, but I found several recipes, and I got to decide which one I want. And you know what other thing I've been doing? I've been doing all kinds of interesting stuff. Anyhow, I find it interesting. And I thank the Lord for giving me enthusiasm, because I have enthusiasm today. And I'm red. I love red. I love pink. I love blue. I like colors. This book, James has this book, and it's Enthusiasm Makes the Difference. Norman Vincent Peale. Now, this is an old book that he did, I think, first time maybe back 1950, 1949, something like that, because he was a pastor of a Reformed church, which he was trained Methodist. And I looked up some on his stuff, that all he did, and he didn't die till he was 95 years old, and he had a stroke and passed away. But he believed in enthusiasm and love for your fellow man. And of course he was a Christian, and he was a minister for 35 years at this church. And he preached Jesus and preached it strong. And I studied up on him. And the one thing that he believed in that I don't believe in is predestination, that it's determined by God whether you're going to be in heaven or not later. But the way I read the Bible, you make that decision. We've got free choice. Anyway, that's okay. I love enthusiasm. And he gave some examples of enthusiasm, that when you meet people and talk to them, you can be enthusiastic, or you can be a sad Nelly, you know. It's up to you. So he said, practice enthusiasm. And you know that's a good thing, because I believe, like it says, as a man thinketh in his heart, so is he. So if we think good thoughts and look on the good side of things, like my mom always said, look on the bright side, which we always tried to do. Well, so I got up this morning. Thank you, Jesus. But yesterday, I received a message from my friend who is in rehab. And she lives way out in the country, and I have visited her a few times, but it's about 30 miles out there. But she is the one that, when I was 14 years old, she entered my school. And she moved there, her family moved there, and I met her, and she came in to school, and I said, well, do you want to be friends? And she said, yes, I really would like to be friends. I said, well, I'll tell you what, I make friends easy, but I lose friends easy, because I'm so plain spoken. Now, I knew this at 14, that I am a plain spoken woman, and I am what I am. I knew that when I was just a kid. She says, but I like you. I said, well, if you want to be friends, I'll be your friend as long as I last. And here she's 90. I see, she's going to be 92. She's maybe already, she's a year older than me. And so she looked at me and she said, you know what? I'm going to be your friend forever. I thought, well, good. I got a friend forever. And now here she is, still my friend. And I've had her all those years. And they had a 90th birthday party for her. When she turned 90, her kids did. And she had 5 or 6 kids. I've lost track. God gave her some wonderful children, and they threw this big party for her. There were so many in her family. She is a matriarch for sure, and her name is Joyce. And Joyce had all this family around her, and I went out to celebrate with her birthday with her. Me and James did, and I met her kids that I knew when they were younger. I used to go visit them. Buddy and I had a donut shop. We've done so many things. My first husband and I we was in partnership with a bakery. And now when you do donuts, you after one day you have to throw them away. So you put them in these sacks, but they're still good. They don't spoil. So she had all those kids to feed, and they were not real well to do, living out in the country. And she had a big deep freeze, and we would take out a big like 40-pound flour sack that we got our flour and stuff in for the bakery. We would fill it up with donuts and Long Johns and all kinds of sweets, and take it out, and she would put it in her deep freeze, and she fed that to her kids. Loved it, and they were good. I got tired of donuts, but now I eat them again. So we would take, James and I, or else her husband would stop by, pick them up and take them out to the home out there, way outboard. And a few years ago, we had tornadoes out through there that just swept the trees down. I mean, with straight line winds that just, me and Floyd went out and looked at it. That happened when I was married to number 2 husband, and we went out to see Joyce, but her houses and all around where she was, they were safe. The tornadoes did not hit them. So this is a wonderful day today, and I am enthusiastic. I'm going to make that bean soup, and I thought I'd go red today. And Joyce is in rehab, so we talked a long time on the phone last night. And it's up Silvercrest nursing home. It's a rehab and nursing home combination, but this is terrible. Somehow or other she fell and she broke both ankles. And I'm going up and I'm going to get the story on that today, because she said when it happened, she met God, and I want to hear her testimony and what she has to say. She told me some of it last night, but I want to get more details on it, how she met the Lord and when she had fell there and didn't know if she could get up or not, ever. But she did get help, I will say that. And now she's got a good attitude. She's always had enthusiasm. And so I said, Joyce, do you need an iPad or something? Because she's always on the computer. She's always reading, and her mind is still very sharp. So she says, no, I have books. And I said, well, if you need an iPad, I probably have a spare one you can have. No, she said, my grandson bought me one already, or one of them, because they're so supportive of Grandma. And I think that's so wonderful that you have a loving family like that. And she has one son, and he used to, when we started going to, his name is Orville, I believe. Anyway, when we started going to Northside, he was the song leader there, and led the group that sang, and they just had, all with mics, and they sang beautiful music, and he just did such a great job, because he got saved, and he was a strong Christian. So he came to see his mama yesterday, and he bought his guitar, because he plays music, and he's very talented, and so he sang her some songs, and then he prayed for her. She said it was such a wonderful visit to have him come and talk to me and pray for me and sing for me some good religious songs. She loved it, She said, and I want to tell you more about it. And her father got married again when she was that age, about 14, or right before that. And her home life, the stepmother and the stepsisters didn't treat her right. They made her life miserable. And she told me all about it, being her best friend. And so when her boyfriend, and he was older than her, came along and proposed marriage, she ran away with him and got married, and she told everybody she was spending the night with me, and they believed her because they knew I was her best friend. But she wasn't with me. They called, they didn't call. I think they come to see us. I don't think we had phones. I don't remember. But anyhow, they checked with me, and I said, no, she didn't spend the night with me. Well, do you know where she is? I said, no, I don't know where she is. But she ran away and got married. I think she was 16 or 15 or 16. And she got married. And I didn't know I was going to get married a couple of years later at 16. Maybe she was only 15. I'm going to get more of the details today when I go visit her. She's going to call me after a while. She had lost my phone number. So when I called her, she said, let me write that down. So like I said, I got up this morning and I came over to my house. Somebody asked me why we live in two houses. It's just convenient because his office is close by right here. This is that super popper, corn popper. I decided to make me some popcorn. And so when I'm sitting around reading, watching YouTube, I just have me some popcorn and try to keep my weight down because I don't want that. I've got this scale that talks to you. And sometimes it's not nice. And so I just don't want to listen to it. And I don't listen to it too often. I only weigh every 2 or 3 days now. And the last time I weighed it said, which is aggravating. That's one reason I'm eating popcorn today. It said, you weigh 156.2. I mean, it tells you 156.2. So I don't want to weigh more than 155. So I'm praying about it and trying to eat less. And one thing that helps me, popcorn. And then I put all kinds of stuff on it. And it tastes good. But it don't give you many calories and it fills you up. Well, anyhow, I didn't give y'all no scripture today. Well, I've got some favorite ones like Romans 8:28. That is a really good one. I got it memorized, but I want to make sure I get it right. Let me see if I can. Romans 8:28 scripture. It says, as we know in all things, God works for the good of those who love him, who have been called according to his purpose. And that's a popular verse, and it's one that I've always loved because we are called according to his purpose, and we all have a purpose in life. I mean, we weren't made to not be useful and to love one another. We were made to love one another and to be kind to one another. People are sometimes unkind, and that's not nice. But I get good comments mostly, and I am a little political. I can't help it. So I say, I'll be who I am, y'all be who you are, and we'll love you anyway. And you love me anyway, okay? At least be kind to me. And most everybody is, and they tell me they love me. I would say since I've been on YouTube that I probably haven't got more than 4 not nice remarks. And you know what I do? I just delete those little suckers. They're not going to stay there for other people to read them. We don't need to be reading that kind of crap. Nope. I like the good stuff. Well, of course we do. We're not idiots. I mean, you don't have to brag on me, but I like it when you like me. And hit that like button, they say, and subscribe and share if you like me. If you don't like me, forget the whole thing. You know, there is plenty of good people to watch out there, and I love some of them very much, and I tell about them, like 967 Andy, who has helped me so much. And yesterday, I have made enough money I could take James out and pay for his lunch, and that's fun. And we enjoyed it so much. We went to the, oh, I forget the name of it, but they have the good brisket, and it is delicious. So we had a good Sunday dinner after he came home from church, and I listened to my pastor preach, and he wants everybody to start praying, and praying is a good thing, and he wants you to find a special place and pray, and I'm the type that just prays wherever I need to. If I'm going down the road, I'll pray for people, or pray for myself, or as things come to my mind, I'll say, Lord, be with them, and I pray for you. I pray for all my, you know, God knows who all my YouTubers are that watch me and like me and love me, and I pray for them. Lord, you know where they're at. I don't know where they're at, but be with them, lead them, guide them, and direct them, and help them to go to heaven. And if they don't know the Lord, I pray that they get to know the Lord. That's me. You know, everybody's different. Now, I personally just love Chit Chat Granny Pat. And she don't get into religion and stuff like that because our politics, that's not her style. Her style is to tell stories of her life, and I've done that, and things that happened to her, and she's got some good ones. You check some of her old videos. Her granddaughter set her up with her iPad and told her that her name would be Chit Chat with Granny Pat, and they just love her, and they just did such a swell thing for her, and it keeps her busy. Now, she's been on about 3 years, but I've only been on a year, or a little over a year. And so I admire her, and she is kind of my hero, even though I'm older. But as far as all this stuff is, I'm inexperienced compared to her. So she can do things I never thought of doing. She's so different, and that's why you like to look at different people. Now, another one I really like is Jared King TV. He does Appalachia stories. Now, I was raised down in Appalachia till I was about, well, in the mountains of North Carolina. My daddy worked on the Skyline Drive big machinery and was there working with construction. And we lived in a little shack that was pulled by sled with one big old tractor from one site to the next as they were doing their blasting of the mountain. And me and Norman used to go out, and they get ready to blow down a mountain or blow up a mountain, and we would watch them drill holes and fill those holes with dynamite. And then they had a thing that they could get way back from. They pushed down on it, and the whole mountain would just come right down. So we would watch, and they would say, "Now, you kids stand right back here with me. We're going to blow this mountain up." And we would watch it. And it was amazing how the rocks would go. Then the big bulldozers would come in, and they would load it in these big old trucks, which when it rained, and if it rained pretty good, get enough water in it, that was our swimming hole. True story. I remember one time we went swimming in one of them. Daddy took us on a Sunday afternoon. They were down on, they didn't work on weekends. And Dad took me and Norman and Phyllis, and he helped us get in this big thing that hauled the rocks. It's like, it's a big hauler. And it had maybe 1.5 feet of water. Phyllis was just a little old thing. And we were just having fun playing in that water. And all of a sudden, Daddy said, "Where's Phyllis?" Or one of us said, "Where's Phyllis?" And we couldn't see her. She had went under that water. And so he found her pretty fast. He brought her up, and she was okay. But we had fun in the mountains. And when we'd go to the toilet, which was in the woods, Mama would say, "Watch for snakes, because you Indian style, and they squat, and there's no real toilet." And nobody dug a hole either. We never thought about digging no hole. You just go to a different part of the woods. And the animals take care of it. The insects and stuff in the woods take care of all the refuge or stuff that you don't need anymore. So we just had to watch for snakes and be careful, because they were up there. Rattlesnakes and copperheads. Now, the copperheads are really dangerous. They don't give you any warning. And one day Daddy came home, and we was living in this little shack. Mom used to sit on the bed. Now, my mother was a musician, and she played the guitar and sang. And I tried to learn how. Hopeless. Hopeless. I cannot carry a tune. I like to sing, but I have found out by listening to me on tape, on record, and all kinds of things that I cannot sing. But I have people in the family that can, and Buddy, #1 husband, had that talent, and he passed that on to his kids. All of them. I mean, they could tell you whether it was G, C, or D by listening. Now, I know when something's bad, and I was listening to Mrs. Peach, and oh, Lord help me. Anyhow, I just kind of wonder sometimes if her piano needs tuning. But see, I got a 10 ear, so honey, don't pay me no mind. But have you had it tuned lately? Now, her singing is right on key, but it sounds to me like sometimes that piano is not on key. I don't know, it's just me, I guess. I am not a musician, but I just love music. So she sings those old songs that are wonderful, that you don't hear anymore. We go to church now, And it really gets boring because they repeat one sentence 14 times, seem me like. Now, I'm exaggerating. I'm just exaggerating. But it seems like it to me because it just goes on. And there comes my husband. I saw him go past the window. He's coming home. So I'm going to shut down. But anyhow, I love all of y'all. I love Mrs. Peach. Mrs. Thrifty Living. Mrs. Peach with Thrifty Living. I love her. And All Around Grandma. And Jared King TV. And 967 Andy. He's going to get to 1,000 or 2,000. I don't know. Check him out. So I'm going to let you go. Have a blessed day. Walk that path where Jesus would be pleased with you. Bye-bye.